हेलो एस्पायरेंट्स, माई सेल्फ अभिजीत। आई वेलकम यू टू यूपीएससी गाइड। सो आज हम लोग डिस्कस करने वाले हैं इकोनॉमिक्स के क्वेश्चंस जो आप डेली आंसर राइटिंग मेंस के लिए जो करते हैं। चलिए देखते हैं पहला क्वेश्चन क्या है। तो क्वेश्चन ये कहता है कि डिस्टिंग्विश बिटवीन कैपिटल बजट एंड रेवेन्यू बजट, एक्सप्लेन द कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ बोथ दिस सब्जेक्ट्स। सिंपल क्वेश्चन, फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन। ये हम लोग योर प्रीलिम्स प्रिपरेशन में भी पढ़ते हैं, मेंस प्रिपरेशन में भी पढ़ते हैं। So it should not be a big deal to tackle such questions, and these are very low hanging fruits. ऐसे questions को आप मत neglect कीजिए. So basically we can start from the fact itself that Article 112 says that of Indian Constitution says that Union budget of year is referred as annual financial statement, which from which gives a receipt and expenditure of the government in the financial year, which presents a statement of receipts and expenditure of government in a financial year. Okay, so three keywords: Article 112, annual financial statement, and a statement which says receipts and expenditure of government in a financial year. So moving on to the body part, directly you can go with the tabular format, or I'll say for like the addition of half mass, you can just write in a square bracket about the overall और मोटा मोटा को कौन से objectives of the budget. क्या है objectives? Yes, reallocation of resources, prioritization of resources, effective, efficient and effective, efficient use of resources. Definitely reducing the inequalities in income and wealth. Yes. Contributing to the economic growth. Definitely bringing the economic stability. गति शक्ति आपने पढ़ा होगा, यहाँ पे गति शक्ति लिख सकते हैं. Bringing economic stability कैसी, जैसे फिस्कल पॉलिसी की मेजर्स होती है बहुत सारी, उस चीजों से. मैनेजिंग पब्लिक एंटरप्राइजेस. यस, पब्लिक एंटरप्राइजेस कैसे मैनेज कर सकते हैं बजट से, वो देखेंगे हम लोग. बहुत सारी टाइप्स होती है बजट्स की, जीरो बेस बजटिंग, जेंडर बजटिंग, वो भी आप एग्जांपल्स में लिख सकते हो. ओके, एंड डायरेक्टली यू कैन नाउ शिफ्ट टू द मेन बॉडी पार्ट, दैट इज द कंपोनेंट ऑफ गवर्नमेंट बजटिंग. सो टू पार्ट्स, कैपिटल बजट एंड रेवेन्यू बजट. इफ यू सी कैपिटल बजट्स, दैट इज it includes capital receipts and expenditure. Revenue includes revenue expenditure and revenue receipts. So capital receipts, main difference comes here, that it indicates which leads to decreasing or increasing in decrease in assets and increase in liabilities. That is what is capital budget indicates. Whereas revenue has no such things of increasing or decreasing of the assets or liabilities. Okay, are the receipts which do not have a direct impact on assets and liabilities of the government. Okay, what does it consist of? It consists of buying or selling of the assets or share of the public enterprises. Okay, well, as it is about the consist money earned by the government through taxation, non-taxation sources. Okay, it is talking about earning or expenditure here. We are talking about the capital, physical assets, about the capital expenditure. The money received in the form of borrowings or the repayments of loans by the state. Yes, loans and all these things will be included into your capital budget. All these defense expenditure as well as the administration salaries and the all these things would be included into revenue expenditure. Okay, it is a non-recurring nature. It occurs usually for the one time, as well as this is in a recurring nature which occurs on the yearly basis. And for the conclusion part of this, what is the conclusion of it? For the pursuit of Vikasit Bharat, the budget emphasizes sustained efforts on the 9 priorities. Yes, 9 priorities जो ली गई है उसको आप लोग कोट कर सकते हैं यहाँ पे, जो बजट में इस बार के बजट में इंडिकेट की गई थी. क्या क्या है आपको मैंने ये एक जस्ट लीडिंग पॉइंट दिया है, आपको जाके आपको सर्च करना है. What are the 9 points here? For example, there is a inclusive growth, there is a demographic dividend growth, there is a sustained growth. ये से 3-4 है जो जेंडर इक्वालिटी एक वन ऑफ द पिलर है. आप 2-3 पिलर्स लिखेंगे तो भी that would be a more than enough thing. So just look on to this. What are the 9 priorities in this current budget? Okay, thank you. Hello aspirants. So today we'll see one more question from the economics. The question says that how did land reforms in some parts of the country help to improve the social economic conditions of marginal and small farmers. देखिए, the main theme is about land reforms. That is your topic or that is a topic from the syllabus. ये land reforms के ऊपर पूछा जा रहा है क्वेश्चन, और दूसरी पार्ट पूछी जा रही है कि इकोनॉमिक कंडीशंस ऑफ मार्जिनल एंड स्मॉल फार्मर्स की कैसे इंप्रूव हो गई है. ओके, सो first of all, you can define with the land reforms itself, that is the efforts to reform ownership, operation, leasing, sales and property rights of the lands. It's simple. Ownership, operations, leasing, sales and property rights of the land. The Indian government has committed to the land reforms and ensure distributive justice. That is your article 39B and C in your DPSPs. So this gives the solid proof to your introduction. Okay, constitutional proof. And you can also write or quote some examples of movements like Bhudan and Gramdan which are related to land reforms. Okay, now comes the main body. So how it has helped to achieve socio-economic conditions of marginal and small farmers. So we'll go by the features itself or the postulates which were included into land reform. That is, first of all, it led to abolition of zamindari system. Definitely, zamindaris, rohitwaris, malwaris, which were established or which were upcoming from the British areas, were established, which were quite exploitative, and these were totally eradicated or these were totally abolished, which leads to weakening of the debt trap. Debt trap होती थी, intermediates होते थे बहुत सारे. आपने देखा है, only 1% of the share was allowed to hold by the farmer, and all the share was taken by the intermediaries. So this led to escape the debt trap and this led to financial empowerment here. Then there are tenancy reforms. Tenancy reforms आप यहाँ पे ऑपरेशन बर्गा लिख सकते हो, जो कि tenancy reforms में जो रेंट पे था, जो वो कस रहा था जमीन, उसको फिर वो ओनरशिप राइट्स भी मिल गए. नहीं तो it was easy for evacuation because there was no paperwork. Those all these things were just done by oral things. And आपने ये 12 बलूतेदार सिस्टम आपने पढ़ी होगी, जागीरदारी सिस्टम पढ़ी होगी. वहाँ पे ऐसी the servants were treated very badly and they had no security with respect to this land tilling as well as land cultivation. ओके, सो यहाँ पे बहुत बड़ी एक टेनेंसी रिफॉर्म्स की गई जहाँ पे ओनरशिप कंफर्म कर गई टेनेंट्स के लिए. ओके, देन देयर वाज अ सीलिंग्स ऑन लैंड होल्डिंग्स. मैक्सिमम एक इंडिविजुअल हाउ मेनी अमाउंट ऑफ लैंड ही कैन होल्ड वाज इंडिकेटेड और वाज मेंशन्ड हियर, व्हिच आल्सो लीड टू रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ लैंड फ्रॉम बिग लैंड होल्डर्स. क्योंकि क्या था कि इनिशियली और लाइक प्रीवियसली ऐसे होता था कि 400 acres, 500 acres from a single person. Why? Because it's not even necessary for that. Therefore, land ceilings on land holdings was ensured, which led to land ownership, access to credit and food security. Then consolidation of land holding. Yes, यहाँ पे क्या होती थी कि बहुत सारी fragmentation of land holding. अभी भी जो है fragmentation, average land holding is only 0.8 acres. 0.8 acres. यहाँ पे क्या होती है, जिस वजह से क्रॉप की प्रोडक्टिविटी बहुत कम होती है. मैकेनाइजेशन ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर नहीं कर सकते हम लोग. देयरफॉर दिस वाज वन इनिशिएटिव दैट कंसोलिडेशन ऑफ लैंड होल्डिंग होगी, सब डिवीजन फ्रेगमेंटेशन को अवॉइड किया जाए. सेकेंडली, बेसिस ऑन दैट ओनली वी हैव implementing process principle of cooperative farming. जहाँ पे cooperative farming just farming it as a collective and distributing the benefits or the output equally. That was the main concept of this cooperative farming. And yes, digitalization of land records. Digitalization of land records, reducing the litigation security of landowners in the case of opting for better credit availability. Litigation, better credit availability. And for that, we have implemented a program called Digital India Land Records Modernization Program. Digital India Land Records Modernization Program. यहाँ पे हमने implement की थी, but land reforms में challenges क्या थे? So feudal mindset था. Feudal mindset posted an obstacle in success. feudal mindset था. It was land was something which was an identity, or which provided a social status to an individual, and those having maximum amount of land would be known as a dominant class. Dominant class, वो गांव के head माने जाते थे. So that is a feudal mindset. So they try the obstacles, or that they try to escape this provisions of the land reforms. Okay, private cultivation exemption for the land selling was misused. There were some postulates, or there were some I'll say there features in the land reforms concept, that a private cultivation land would be exempted. This certain amount of land which was used for private cultivation, which had no initiatives or motives of profit motives, was been excluded from the land selling thresholds. Therefore, this was misused by the feudal lords or the big farmers. Then Benami transaction become a point of concern under land selling acts. Yes, Benami transaction, transferring, just for the sake of the name, I am transferring my land to the tenant. So, but the main authority still remains me. This was Benami transaction. Another thing was, there was a lack of political will. Yes, many of the administrations or the government, state governments, they did not show, or they showed the government apathy towards implementing it as a wholehearted effort. You can see there was a lack of political will. Then digitalization of land records with efficiency and correct information will take time. Yes, definitely. Still now, if you see, आप कचहरी में जाइए, आपकी लैंड की कोई रिकॉर्ड होगी तो पुरानी आपको 1890s और 90s 20s 90s में भी आप देखोगे तो all the papers are like very in the dilapidated state. They are not even able to read it. So digitalization will take time, and due to this, due to the misinformation or non-accessibility of the information, litigations are still pending over the land. Okay, and litigation made process cumbersome. That is easy. So what would be the conclusion? With land availability at only to 0.8%, either it's 1.2% per capita, India should now move towards second generation of land reforms, where use of digitalization should be used, and financial inclusion to eradicate rural poverty and improve social economic conditions of marginal and small farmers. There are land tenancy acts, Model Land Tenancy Act by Niti Aayog. Also, new land reforms provisions should be included or implemented, like Land Reforms 2.0, where most of the digitalization would play a big role into this. Okay, thank you.